So the next time you're craving some sort of sweet and savory Asian type chicken, forget the restaurants, we have it at home. I'm gonna show you how to make it. Let's get started. The best thing about this recipe is it's just equal parts everything. So we're gonna do 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup-ish of soy sauce, depending on how much liquid you need, and 1 cup of garlic powder, and that's it. And it's so good. So I'm gonna start with a big bowl. I believe we have about 6 chicken thighs. I'm gonna double check though. I highly, highly recommend bone in, skin on. You're gonna get way more flavor that way, and also just way more moisture in the chicken. Of all times filming, for some reason today, which I'm using my hands the most, I wanted to put my rings on. So we're gonna put gloves on instead, because I already don't like the feeling of raw chicken, and it's just gonna add to that. So, get out your thighs. Oh, that's a big one, jeez.
Huge thighs.
3, 4, okay. Okay, we've got 7 thighs, that's a perfect number. Great, so what I'm gonna do is just dab these off with a paper towel, just to get out any excess moisture here. Just get both sides. It's okay if the skin falls off a little bit. That's just the part that really will get that like nice crispiness in the end, but if it's moving around a little bit, it's fine. I'm gonna set these aside, and I'm gonna mix up the marinade first. Set these right here. Grab your big bowl. For the marinade, we're doing, like I said, equal parts everything. So 1 cup of brown sugar. Whoops. Oopsie, it's okay if you go over. It's like not that big a deal. Same thing with the white sugar. I got this little bag also at the store yesterday. I didn't know they sold sugar in small little quantities like this, but I'm so happy about it. All right. Oh, it's boom, the whole thing again. Whoops. All right. Here we go, white sugar. This is why, you guys know this, this is why it's home cooking, because mistakes will happen a lot. I'm a very messy cook. Oh, look at that, perfect. This whole thing, 1 cup, about, it's good enough. Whoop. Okay, for the soy sauce, I'm gonna start with about 1/2 cup. Sometimes if it's the right consistency, you don't need a full cup, so we're just gonna start small. Start there. I'm using dark soy sauce. You don't have to do that. It has a really, really rich flavor, which I like, but you can use regular soy sauce or light soy sauce or tamari if you're gluten-free. Anything like that works. Mix that up a little bit. Okay, I definitely need more soy sauce. It's okay. It's okay if it starts out a little clumpy like this too. Let's add another 1/2 cup. And if you need even more soy sauce than that, it's okay. It's all up to how thick you like your marinade. I like it to be almost like a little like paste. I'm just gonna eyeball a couple more tablespoons in here. Don't want to add too much. Okay, that's perfect. Nice. Nice and thick, but not too thick, not too loose. If at any reason, at any point you add too much of the liquid, just add a little more sugar and you're fine. Kind of have OCD about like getting every last bit. Gloves back on. Yeah, if you don't have gloves at home, just simply take your rings off and this could be avoided, but I don't want to do that. Okay. Add the chicken straight into it. If you're marinating this overnight or putting it in your freezer, I recommend just putting this marinade straight into a plastic baggie, and then you can double bag these and they'll be good to go. But we're only marinating for 30 minutes, so I'm okay with moving things around for this giant bowl. Okay. In, whoop. Okay, and then you're just gonna mix it up. I'm just like, I'm not getting under the skin or anything, but just, this is making my gloves so heavy, but just really like massaging that in there. Make sure every bit of the chicken is covered. Oh my God, whoa. Okay, that should be good. Chicken is marinated. You can marinate this overnight. You can marinate this for a couple hours. If you're short for time, these still taste really delicious even if you have 0 time to marinate. Maybe it sits in here for 5 minutes and then you're putting it in the oven. That's totally fine. Do what you can. If you have the time, I recommend overnight. I'm gonna let these marinate for 30 minutes and we'll be back in a second. So it's been 30 minutes. We're gonna put these in the oven now. If you don't have one of these, it's no big deal. I like to use this so that the chicken can cook a little bit more evenly and get nice and crispy and not sit in the marinade. But again, it's really no big deal if you don't have this. I'm also using a tinfoil lined baking sheet so that anything that drips down is not gonna stick since we're working with such a heavy sugar marinade. Whatever is gonna stick and burn is going to stick for a long time and it's gonna be a big pain to clean. So this is just a helpful tip for that. I'm not confident that all of these will fit, but we'll see. Look at these. Oh, yeah. These smell, I don't know if you guys can smell them. They smell so good. This reminds me of, my mom would make these on really special occasions or holidays. Usually like Christmas time was when she would make these and she would start cooking them at like 8 in the morning. So you'd just wake up to the smell of like these delicious soy sauce. Like, oh, it was so good and the whole house would smell like it and she wouldn't let us touch them until we would get to my grandma's house because if we had one, we'd have like 12. So we had to wait till we got to the actual party. And I'm like, is it still marinated? Yeah. Oh, yum. So these are ready to go. I'm gonna put them in the oven at 400. I say 400 to 425 because it really depends on how strong your oven is. I would say ours is pretty strong. So I like to put them in at 400 just so they don't burn. Keep an eye on them. If you do have a sensitive oven, I'd put them at 400. Always do it lower. Low and slow is always the way to go. I'm gonna put these in for about 40 to 45 minutes, but I'm gonna be checking on them the whole time. And then we'll check back in when these are almost done. I'll show you. In the oven they go. Okay. Bye. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes. This is the finished product. I actually have to go back in the video and ignore what I said about the temperature because my oven was much stronger than I thought. I actually turned these down all the way to 325, which is a very big difference. I ended up looking in this cookbook here, which is something that my mom made me. This is the Bible of the household. This is my mom's family homemade recipes. She made this entire thing for me. I think it was last year, that's filled with all of our traditions and family recipes that I grew up with. And this recipe is in here, but of course with chicken wings and not thighs. So I just did a little reference to the book and it says that the chicken wings go in at 325. So I noticed that the sugar was almost starting to burn, so I wanted to catch that really quick. So I ended up putting it in at 325 for about 45 minutes, a little bit over. Again, you can still watch and gauge this based on how strong your oven is, but I really underestimated the power of mine. And so I also just made a little bit of extra marinade that I just reduced on the stove to melt the sugar. And I'm just gonna use that to glaze the rest of the top of these just to give them a prettier little shine since I almost scorched the top of them, but that's okay. That's why we're learning as we're going, even though I've made this so many times and I did not expect that to happen. We're just gonna glaze the top of these really nice. You can see I've already glazed a few of them. And then while they're still cooling and while that is nice and fresh and sticky, I'm just gonna add a little bit of toasted sesame seeds This is totally optional. My mom never did this. I'm adding sesame seeds and then a little chive garnish. And I just love the way they stick to the top like that. That's to me what takes this presentation to that like restaurant quality level. I also didn't mention this earlier, but if you ever want to make this and you are a vegetarian, I have made this recipe before with mushrooms, with portobello mushrooms specifically. I'm gonna let that cool. Let them cool for like 10-15 minutes, however long you want. I personally don't love biting into like a really hot piece of chicken. I'm fine when it comes to room temp. I feel like it actually kind of tastes better. But one thing to note is that when you're checking if your chicken is done, the best way to check with a meatier chicken like a chicken thigh is you poke a little hole in there with either a toothpick or a fork or whatever, and you press into it. If the juices coming out of the chicken still have a little pink in them, they're not done yet. If they come out clear, they're done and you can take them out to rest. So that's just like a little tip if you're not using a meat thermometer, which I never do. So even though I've been told I have to buy one now. While we let those cool though, I'm just gonna chop up some chives for the final garnish. If you want, you can use green onion instead. That's a very classic garnish for Asian cooking, so feel free to do that. I just love the look of chives and I love the subtle onion flavor. They're not as harsh as other garnishes, so I'm just gonna chop those up real small. Okay, that's good. Great. I don't know where to put that. Okay, and we're just gonna let them cool and then we're gonna plate and then we're gonna try them. Action. Okay, we're gonna plate, we're ready to plate. It's been a couple minutes. I'm just gonna put these all together. Ooh. And then I'm gonna add the chives. They're a little sticky, careful. You know what, I'm just gonna use my hands. This is too complicated. Yeah. Put it this way. You know what, I'll add another one. No. Okay, hold on. How do I clean my fingers? I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm not gonna wash my hands. I'm in my own home, it's fine. If I was cooking in a restaurant or catering, I would never do that, but. Chives on top. It's okay if they get a little messy, that's what the bowl's for. David. Done. All right, let's try it. Let's see how they came out. Look at that. Mmm. Oh. Okay. Mmm. That's delicious. Mmm. The skin is crispy, but not crispy enough that it was gonna snap off like that, so it's sliding around a little bit. It's fine. Also, I consider this close enough to a chicken wing because there's a bone in it, so that's why I'm eating it with my hands. I wouldn't do this in public unless I was like, had permission, I guess. Mmm. Mm-hmm. It's cooked all the way through. I tested it. It's really, really juicy too. Mmm. That is so good. Ah.
Whoa. Oh, gee.
Whoa. Alright, anyways. Okay, well that's it. I really, really hope you make this, whether it's for a special occasion or just for yourself, just for a Tuesday afternoon. This recipe is so good and it really is incredibly easy to make and truly is just like a showstopper every single time. And it's consistent, which I prefer in a recipe. you follow these steps, you're gonna get it right every single time. Again, just checking the temperature on your oven. Just be careful. That's the only thing I can really advise. Other than that, the recipe speaks for itself. It's delicious, and thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go finish these, so bye.
That's so good. This kind of freaks me out.
Skin, that's the best part.
Big old meat flap.
That's really the best part.
Big old meat flap.
You don't want it. You want that? I dare you to take a bite of that skin. Ugh.
I mean, it's not the best part.
Oh my god.